Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Ascalise, the inventress. My business is Inventing A to Z. At Inventing A to Z, I work with clients to take their products from concept to fruition, from a napkin idea all the way to the marketplace and everything in between, the right way. If you want to contact me, email me, lisa@inventingatoz.com. My website, inventingatoz.com. Today is a very exciting day for me because I have on one of the most iconic, I have to say, PR representatives. He is a producer, a director, a dancer. I don't know. There's so many things. There's so many different levels to this person I'm about to introduce to you. It would take about 30 minutes to just do the introduction. So today I want to welcome and thank you so much for being on my show, Angelo Ellerbee, CEO and founder of Double Exposure PR, and more, much more, much more. Good afternoon, my friend. How are you, Angelo?
It is so wonderful to see your beautiful face. And I thank you so very much for the invitation to come on to your show. Blessings to you and your team of professionals that deliver excellence. So blessings, it's my honor.
Oh, thank you. And it is such an honor for me to have you here. I can't believe that we're seeing each other. And I'm glad I wore my hat because I know Mr. Fashion, you know.
You look splendid. You look splendid, darling. You look splendid.
Thank you. So do you, as always,
Thank you.
as always.
Thank you so much.
And I mean, there's so much history here, Angelo, and I want everyone to know. I mean, it would take days and days to explain your background, but you are PR to many stars, but you're far beyond that. You know, I'm going to list some of the names that you've helped produce, direct, get Grammys for, etc. You work with people. You work with stars such as Dionne Warwick. Roberta Flack you've worked with, Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, Michael Jackson, Shabba Ranks, and the list, Lionel Richie. I can't even.
You know, Elisa, I've been very, very fortunate. You know, I started my career when I was 14 years old in the greatest city that I call the greatest city in the world, Newark, New Jersey.
Yes, yes.
I will always love Newark. Newark provided my tools, my survival tools. It was a place where I was motivated to be the best that I can possibly be. And my foundation comes from that wonderful soil that I was raised on, which is the city of Newark. It comes from a very energetic mother who believed very much in her son, who wanted the best for her son. My mom said to me many years ago, "You're great because you're my child, but I want you to grow up and be greater. And then I want you to be the greatest at whatever you choose to do in life." And so I've let that lead me through the perils of life. It is really important that whatever you say you're going to do, you should do it at your best. And you should give it your all. And it should never be about dollars or cents. It should be about the dedication, your will to want to produce and provide and give knowledge and help someone to the next level of their plateau. That's really the key on what I go to do. It's never the dollars and cents. Of course, I want to get paid, but it's never going to be about the money. It's going to be about my fulfillment to my clients and doing the best that I can possibly do to take them to the next levels of their next levels. And so it all works out to be for each other. And I think that's
Don't you feel that's what brought you to your success? And I want to cry with what your mom said. There's so much fact and truth to what she said. But you have to be better than that. You always want to please your mom, of course.
Sure.
So now you're already put in a position to, like, I better succeed.
Yeah.
I better be better than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've done it. You far surpassed, and I'm sure your mother was proud, in heaven proud. If she's still here, she's proud. No matter what, your mom will always be proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You've done so much, and the list of accolades goes on. And where you started, fashion.
You know what, Lisa? I hear you, and I appreciate what you're saying to me, but I am not at the pinnacle of my success yet. I think that I've just started. There's so much more that I want to do. I think it's so much more that I can contribute. There's a height in my life, and I'm nowhere near that height. And so the same kind of energies and the same kind of advice that I give to so many others, I ask my Father, my Son, my Holy Ghost to take me through the trials and the tribulations of life and strengthen me so that I can go on and do on and be on with regards to just getting to my plateau, because I don't feel that I'm there. And it's wonderful when I hear the accolades. It's wonderful when I'm being interviewed. But at the end of the day, for me, I want to find the happiness in my career. And I am not the kind of individual that believes that your success stays there. It's steady. It's not. It comes and it goes. It's almost like happiness.
I was going to ask you. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you that, because a person like you with so many different incredible layers of creativity and so much inside of you, I get it, because you've done everything and you still do all of the things.
Yes.
You started out as a dancer. You're on Broadway. You were on Broadway. You did Broadway shows. People don't know this and they need to know it. So I'm trying to encapsulate all of this in a very short space of time, which I can. Broadway dancer. I mean, on Broadway shows, producing movies, directing, PR for so many amazing people. You are fashion in every fashion magazine you could possibly know about, from Vogue to Essence, Ebony, Men's Vogue. I think it was man. Like you've done so much, and continue to do all of these great things. You teach young people etiquette, how to be better themselves, and you keep on growing. You have products. There's so much that you do.
I love Elisa that does her homework. You have done your homework, girl. I am proud. I am proud of you, Lisa. Thank you.
Your candle line, your book, your motivation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is Lisa Astley's the inventress. I know. I love, everybody does not come on my show. When I have Angelo Ellerbee coming on my show, I better know my stuff. I better have my hat on. I better have the right necklace on. It better match my background. I was nervous. I was like, okay, I better have a red necklace on.
Thank you.
Angel.
I see you're coordinated to the nines. You're coordinated to the nines. Blessings, blessings. Lisa, but the thing for me is that I'm striving for that apex. I'm striving to get where I want to get. It's wonderful to see what everybody else sees. I don't want to see that. Because when I see that, that means I'm going to become comfortable in that. And I don't ever want to be comfortable with the gift that God has given to me. Because he said so that he has given it, he will take it. So I want to always understand, and people are always talking about how amazing. The amazement is from the man upstairs.
Yes.
I'm no more than a vessel. I'm a vessel of his work. And so I try to do that each and every single day. I start my day at 4:30 in the morning. I pray for 45 minutes each and every single day. And I don't pray selfishly. I pray for everyone. I mean, for every single soul, because I believe that every single soul deserves prayer. And I think that everyone deserves upliftment, and everyone should be motivated. And I ask God to have these people that are sick and that are wounded, the HIV positive, all these people, to unblock their visions and let them come and touch you and understand that you're there for them. All they got to do is reach out and touch somebody's hand. And the world does become a better place. It really does. And I think that's what keeps me moving, is that my work, my energy, my prayer, it all rolls into one old big old Tootsie Roll. It's sweet enough, it's bitter enough, but it's enough for everybody.
This is what I've always loved about you, Angelo, from the first day we connected through Dionne. We talked and I was like, there is something so special. People can read about you and know about the things that I was talking about.
Sure.
You can read about those things and say, wow, that's a great thing that this guy does, and that he continues to do. But until they meet the person,
Yeah.
you are so evidently blessed.
Yeah,
and
I am.
so evidently loving, and just, I mean, your heart just shows everything that you do. And that was going to be a question. I'll ask the question for other people, because I already know the answer.
Sure.
What makes you happy and lifts you up and brings you joy? And you've described it, but I want you to say it. I want you to say it again.
I want to tell you that happiness is very temporary. Fulfillment and belief in my Father, God. When I pray each and every single day, I pray and I ask of Him, God, would you come with me today on this journey of life? Would you talk for me? Would you speak for me? Would you think for me? Would you take these hands and would you lead them down the right road of righteousness? And I say, Father, I'm nobody's saint, but I'm a child and I'm your child and I need you. And I think, that everybody needs that hug. And I do ask them for a hug, not just for myself. We're coming out of the most craziest pandemic in the world.
Yeah.
People died in outrageous numbers. We all need to have that. And I think in my prayers, it allows me to be sensitive to know where I'm at and how blessed that I am, that I have this little roof over my head in this townhouse in Edgewater, New Jersey, that I have people that work with me and work for me, that I can eat every single day. I am mobile. I can get around. I can do for me. Those are, people believe that those are given. They're not given. Amen. They're a gift.
Amen.
They're a gift. And so when you destroy the gift, you should destroy the saint in God. And I just believe that everybody should just understand how we need to be together, how we need to teach and enrich and to have our own and to create our own and teach our children the importance of giving. Yes. And the importance of listening and the importance of listening and the importance of listening and comprehending and letting nothing block your blessings, that you move progressively, claim your victory. It's there, it's inside of you. Just claim it and walk with it. And yeah, you're going to put on your boxing gloves because you're going to see and you're going to get hit. But you know what? You have to learn how to duck and weave like the guys in Newark, duck and weave, duck and weave. And I learned that at a very early age in my life, that I had to learn. I'm sorry.
You were 14 years old.
I was 14.
You were 14 when you started understanding all of them. Yes, I know about you, Angelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and because I love it. I love the person you are. I really do. And I love the heart that you have and that God has given you. And this is such a blessing, everybody. This is a blessing. I'm talking to people who are listening and watching this interview. And your words and your passion is so important that you're sharing with everyone who's going to be watching this show. It really is. And you're saying the ducking and the bobbing, and because everything's not just given to you, okay? It's not just given to you. Like you said,
I want nobody to give me anything. Don't give me nothing.
It's not just
my mother taught me to get your own.
Mm-hmm.
She said, when people are giving you, it has to be a question mark. Why are they giving? But when you fight for your own and you stand on your own, you don't have to worry about making distribution or giving them back. Why it's good to give it back, but my mother always wanted me to be the recipient of hard work and determination. I cannot even tell you some of the things that she used to do that I didn't understand when I was a child. Quickly, one day, my mother worked evenings. She was a waitress. So it was 7 of us. And all the children would gather after my mother would leave in the kitchen. And we would play cards. But we would play cards for money. And I used to spend my lunch money playing cards. I never won. I always lost. But my mother's orders was clean this kitchen before you go to bed. So she did not know that we were up playing cards at 2 o'clock in the morning. So my sister said, you know, you better clean up this kitchen before you go to bed. I said, oh, I'll get it in the morning, right? So my mother doesn't get it until about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm getting out of school. So I'm going up the back door. And I said, I'm going to just go and clean the kitchen. I said, oh, somebody cleans the kitchen. Oh, fabulous, right? Lisa, I opened up my bedroom door. The frying pan with the pork chop grease was in it, the Kool-Aid, the cup, the plates, everything. My mother came in and said, oh, really? She put it right in my bed. From that day to this day, I got it. And so while I thought it was very harsh, it was very real.
Of course.
So when someone's in charge and you're not really being a contributor, you're just being in the air of it all. You got to listen.
Yeah.
You have to obey. And you have to respect the command of someone that is in charge until you get your own.
What a great mother you had.
Yeah.
How blessed
I am.
are you to have a mom like that? You know, a lot of these kids today are just given, and they don't understand that there's work put into what it is you're trying to put out. You know, a lot of these young people, not just young, older people too, have dreams of becoming entrepreneurs, inventors, business owners, but you got to put in. You've got to work.
If you don't put in, at least if you don't put anything in the bank, you can't draw interest and you can't get nothing from it. So it's what you put in is what you get out. You don't put nothing in, you don't get nothing out. And so I can only stress to young people the importance of your own ownership.
Yes.
Own you first. Discard whatever is not right within you. Discard it. Move on. Be who you are, be original, don't be a copycat.
Yes.
I have found myself I am romantically in love with Angelo Ellerbee. I have learned to love me.
I am too.
I am too. When I love me, I can love you a little bit more because I understand what love is all about.
Yes.
And love is to be shared. Love is sensitive, it's emotional, it's stupid things at times.
It's okay.
But it's all right because when you really love, you understand that things are going to come together, be together, and they're going to separate and they're going to come. But that's called life. And we have to learn that. We have to learn to live within our lives.
Yes.
And we have to learn to love ourselves. And then we can love our lovers, our husband, our children.
Yes.
We can really get into what family is to be about, what friendships are to be about.
Yes.
Because I take the word friend and I split it in the middle. And I said, oh, it's the end of a friend. So if you take the word friend and you split it in the middle, you get E-N-D, right? End. So what I like to do is I don't like so necessarily talking about friendships, but I like talking about relationships. Yes. I can relate in my relationship. It takes a lot of time for me to consider you as my friend. That's worthy.
Yes,
friendship. So you have to be really clear about who you're going to bring into your life.
Mhm.
Who's going to be a part of your life? Because I married myself many years ago because I never thought that anyone was going to take the time to understand my pace, my drive, my energy. And
Mhm.
so when you fall in love with you and you fall in love with God, you find that that's the only one that's going to help you fight the battle. That's the only one that's going to keep your secrets. That's
Mhm.
the only one that is going to motivate you to do more than what you can possibly ever imagine to do. So my relationship is
Mhm.
with the man upstairs
Mhm.
and with everyone that I look at each and every single day.
Yes.
They have to become a part of the system in which I live.
That's such a magical thing. It's so magical, Angelo, because that's really a big deal to be able to do. It's easier said, and that's what I'm sure a lot of these listeners or viewers are going to say. Easier said than done.
Yeah,
God love me first. God first, love me. I marry me. Got to really love myself.
yeah,
It takes a lot to love yourself
yeah,
because we've been raised in such an environment, and I'm sure you can attest to this, where a lot of people have been taught to not love themselves, to feel that they're not going to get beyond. I mean, you had your PR firm, and I believe you were the first Black owned PR firm in New York City, right?
yeah, yeah.
Many people, you had a great mother. You had a mother
Yeah.
who inspired you and taught you that you can do anything and become anything when
Yeah,
you own your love for yourself. You
yeah,
learned that from your mom,
yeah, I
right?
did.
Through her spirituality, etc. You did that. A lot of people don't know that they can do these things because they've not been taught or in the environment that people are teaching them those things. It's usually you will not amount to, you can't do. And even good friends who are positive, so they think, positive friends, you probably will not be able to do that. I think that's first. You probably can't do that because first things are, most likely you will not succeed at this because such and such. Aren't you? You are the guy. I see that you are the guy who says, "Let's succeed first by the grace of God and
Yeah.
your own belief in yourself." But everybody doesn't have that, and this is what I love also about you, teaching young people those things, teaching them to love themselves and love their environments, and no matter where they're brought up, to love who they are first.
I also try to bring to the table the importance of what you should be around. And I think that a lot of times, if you are around those things that are negative,
Mhm.
you want to become a part of that. If you're around people and things that are positive, things that's going to motivate you, then you almost want to duplicate that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I always say to them, you know the difference in right and wrong. You know that difference, right? So why did you do wrong when it takes the same energy to do right?
Hmm.
You got to really sit back and examine who you bring into your life.
Yes.
You have to examine every person that comes into your life because everyone is not for you.
Yes.
They're smiling in your face. How does the record go? And all the time they want to take your place. A backstabber.
Backstabbers.
And
Yes.
so you gotta really understand. That's why I'm very now careful, only because life has taught me
Hmm.
at this stage of my career that I have to be quite selective
Yes.
about who I bring into my circle and who I bring into my home and who I bring. I don't want, I spend too much time worshiping and
Yes.
too much time uplifting and wanting people around me that can get the vibe, that
Hmm.
can live. A lot of times it's not, people want to make excuses to why they are where they are. I grew up this way and I only had a mother. Well, I grew up right straight in Newark, New Jersey. My mother was a single parent. She had 7 children. And what? And what? So it's not where you come from, it's where you're going. And if
Yes.
you get it in your head and stop listening to all this craziness and trying to be a part of people who are not worth you being a part of, people who you know that are going to, that's destroying life, and
Mhm.
then you're going to allow them to destroy your life as well.
But it's your voice. It's your voice, Angela, and voices like yours. There are people who don't have that opportunity to hear you. Again, your mom, you were raised in an environment in Newark, yeah, in a really tough part of the city,
Yeah.
but of New Jersey. But you had that positive voice around you, thank God, and you listened. A lot of kids, a lot of folks, adults don't have that opportunity to hear that or understand that, and they don't know to surround themselves by that. And that's why what you put out there for this, even being on our show today, I'm so grateful
Thank you.
that you're here so that people can listen and hear exactly what you're saying. Surround yourself by positive with positive people. Listen to what's positive because you know the difference between right and wrong. We do.
Yeah,
We
we do.
know it. It's what you want to it's what you want to receive. What sometimes makes you what makes you comfortable because you're comfortable with listening to that voice.
Very true. I have this, I have four incredible sisters.
Mhm.
My oldest sister was like, oh my God, like a guardian angel who was sent to me, Rose, who gave me, in the absence of when my mother went to work, gave me the kind of mothering that I always will remember. We had such a and we have such a relationship and understanding the struggle. And my sister will call me and she would text me and she will say, I'm just so proud of you.
Oh,
And she would say, I'm just so proud of you.
how did that feel? How did
I'm
that
telling you,
feel?
even when I speak of it, my eyes get watery because she doesn't know I'm so proud of her.
Oh,
And it's just when you get this kind of source and this kind of energy around you, you have to really, really become so appreciative to who does love you. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about who does, and worry about those people who give you the source of energy to keeps you alive and keeps you moving. My sister said to me just this morning, I'm so proud of you.
oh,
And I go, why are you proud of me today? She said, because I was proud of you yesterday.
oh my
And I
gosh.
go like, okay, girl, what's the matter? Is everything okay? And she goes, since my mother's passing,
Mhm.
it has been really strained within the family, as it is majority in most families when the minor leaves you.
Yes.
And so you're now trying to understand all those things that had been taught to you. And the great thing is it wasn't just individualized taught. It was a collective teaching.
Yes.
So we get a chance to talk about mother, and we get a chance to talk about how proud she would be. And I
Mhm.
remember on the day that my mother passed, I remember what she said to me when I was 14. And before they put her in the ground, I said to her, Mama, you always said that I was great, but you wanted me to be greater. And now that you're the spirit that will always live with me, I will become great.
Oh,
That's the motivation of my life. And my sister Rose stood there when I was saying that. And every time we get a chance to talk, the first things that she utters, I'm so proud of you. So I tell this story only because I want people to understand the importance of love and the importance of motivating and the importance of telling someone, I'm just really proud of you.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
proud that you're alive. I'm proud
Yep.
that you're wealthy. I'm proud that you're all of those things because you are a part of me. And so that's my message of today.
Oh,
Just be proud. Be proud that you have your children. Be proud that they're walking. Be proud that they're talking. Be proud that they're safe and sound. We ain't got to talk about no great mountains of accomplishments here. The accomplishment is to stay alive, to do diligence and work for the betterment of your life and
yeah,
for the family that you create. Those are the things I think we need to start by being thankful for.
for
And
sure.
it's good to say, as I ask God every day, would you please give me a hug and take me through this day?
Well,
Really
can I
good.
hug you? Can I hug you, Angela?
Yeah, I
Oh,
just gave you a hug. I just gave you a hug.
let's
Absolutely, you
hug.
can. Yeah, I think it's really, I think it's really great that we take the time out just to say, I love you.
100%.
For me, it makes me feel like I have a text thing that I do. And
Mhm.
as a young girl by the name of Shauna, she texts me prayers every day, at the bit. And what I find myself doing when she texts me, I take about 25 people and I text that message back out.
Mhm.
Because you never know when someone's about to commit suicide.
That's
You
right.
never know how painful whatever they're going through. You never know if they can pay their rent. You don't never know. So
Yeah.
if you can just give a kind word of encouragement and upliftment, what does it cost you? It doesn't cost.
Doesn't cost a thing.
It doesn't
And
cost.
it could change a life.
Yeah, you
I
can.
I remember the kindness, the kind words. I mean, my parents were their kind words, my grandmother especially, just the kind things that she said to me. Like we talked about, I'm proud of you. As I said to you, I'm proud of you. I'm
Yeah,
so proud of you
yeah,
for everything that you do for others.
yeah,
For others, I'm so proud of you. Those words are so important, like we talked about. I could hear my mother saying, I'm proud of you. My father, when my father said it, wow,
yeah,
it was a big deal. I'm
no,
proud of you, Lily. What?
yeah,
So those little, he may not have said it every single day, but when he said it, it was like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, this is huge.
It's a charge. It's a charge of acceptance. It's a charge of energy.
Yes, it is.
Wow, I'm somebody is proud of what I'm doing. And all my life, I saw my mother being a contributor,
Hmm.
and I think that's possibly why I do what I do because she showed me the importance of contributing. She was no nonsense. Don't get me wrong. My mother didn't play around.
Hmm.
She wanted me to grow up and be responsible. She didn't take no mess.
Hmm.
She was no nonsense.
Yes.
And but when I was going through those things as an adolescent, I was like, what is she on? As I got older, I said, I get it. Respectful.
Yes, yes, yes.
The same thing that happens with all the employees that I've had, and I've had more employees than the Empire State Building has steps. Um, I get letters back now, 20 years later. Mr. Ellerbee, I just want to thank you. And I'm like, what do you want to thank me for? Because what you tried to teach me, I now got it.
Yeah.
I've seen kids come to me as interns and turn in to be regular employees at my firm. I've seen them turn into vice presidents at other major label record companies and some of them have gone and duplicated me. Um, and it's just good to know that when you see what you have put in come to a light, it's like really it's refreshing. It's really refreshing to say, oh, really did I didn't know that I was teaching you that, but that's what I said about being in that surrounding.
Yes.
All you gotta do is be in the surrounding, and then that
Yes.
surrounding can lift you and take you where you need to. I remember Mary J. Blige when I worked with Mary many years ago. She came into my office and she was an hour late. Okay, so downstairs there was Carnegie's Deli, and I was
Oh,
going to,
yes.
and
That's
I was, let me try to tell you, when you have a craving, and I just, for the life of me, I wanted the Carnegie Deli sandwich, and things were like big as my head. So when she was late, nobody called me to say that she was going to be late. When you came up at the elevator, you were in my office because it was a floor.
Mhm.
So I'm standing there getting ready to go downstairs, and she said, "I'm here to see Angelo." And I looked around and I said, "Are you here to see Mr. Ellerbee?" And she said, "Oh yeah, whatever." I said, "Well, whatever." I said, "Whatever. I'm Angelo Ellerbee." And she said, "Oh, okay." She said, "Can we start?" I said, "No, girl, we can start tomorrow. You're an hour late." And I'm going downstairs to have my sandwich, my lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the reality. The next day she came back, she was an hour and a half early.
There
Early.
you go.
How you start is how you finish.
That's right.
And we went through the course of reading. I don't care if you're the best reader in the world. I want to know you're the best reader in the world. I would bring in teleprompters. We would read from the teleprompters. I started teaching her about reading the Bible.
Oh my God.
Every day a passage, every day a passage. When I see that this girl she hated interviews. She did not like to do interviews at all. And she told me that.
Mhm.
So we went through the interview course. And I played back all of her old interviews with Les sitting back in the chair like this, like da. I played it all back for her. She said, "Angelo, please don't make me watch that. Please don't. I don't want to watch it." I said, "No, you're gonna watch this girl."
This is Mary J.
Yeah,
Blige.
yeah. This is Mary J. Blige. I said, "No, you're gonna watch it." Now let me tell you, we were sitting in my office, and when I'm in consultation with a client, I can't be disturbed. So the phone rings, and my assistant was very reluctant in buzzing me. And she said, "Well, it's your mother on the phone." I said, "Okay." And so my mother said, "Are you busy?" I said, "Yes, Mom, very busy." She said, "Well, I don't know if you know that I raised my three nephews. All of us raised my nephews. We raised three boys." So my mother called me and she said, You have to come home." I said, "Home? My home or your home?" She said, "My home." And she told me my was killed,
Oh,
that he fell asleep behind the steering wheel.
oh,
So me being me, I said, "Okay, Mom, I'll get there." I sat back and we
so
started to
sorry.
begin my session with Mary because it was business. I had to continue to do what I needed to do. This was my child, but I needed to do what I needed to do.
Yes.
And so she said, "Well, they tell me you don't listen to music." I said, "No, because I ain't selling no music." She said, "But this is my new song. Would you please listen to this for me?" And it was like, if you could see what I see, oh my God. We listened to this thing and I started crying.
What?
And she said, "What's the matter?" And I went
Oh,
to tell her. She said, "So why are you sitting here with me?" I said, "Oh, we got to do what we got to do." And then she started crying. And she started to tell me about her relationship with her parents and the whole other bit there.
mhm.
That was such a genuine flow of emotions. And it brought closeness and it brought trust and it brought all those things together. Today, when I see this girl who was hitting people in the head with bottles and doing all of these crazy things, this young girl is so, she has it so together to the
Yeah.
point she was nominated for an Oscar. I, what I do is not instant coffee. I prefer brewed coffee. I prefer longevity.
Yes.
What I do is not going to happen today. It's
Yes.
going to take time to simmer, to percolate, and then you can pour the coffee. So when I see young people like her, and I can just influence a little bit, that's all that matters.
And you've done it. You've been given the gift, the blessings. You really have to be able to do this. I mean, you have a whole Mary J. Blige. You've got You have a whole host, a whole list of folks. And this story is amazing for people, those listeners out there who need this inspiration.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, from Mary J. Blige to Alicia Keys, you have influenced them all
Yeah.
in one way. I know that you've influenced my heart and
Thank
touched
you.
my heart in so
Thank
many ways. From the first time I spoke with you, the first time years ago that I spoke with you, you had that something, that special something that God gave you, of course.
Yes.
You are a vessel.
Thank you.
You are a vessel, and you give to so many people. You really do, and you're making me cry because you really are that genuine person from your mom who has made you the person you are. But I'm sure your mother was very spiritual, and she got it from the God above to give you the kindness and the love and the security and the love that you love yourself enough to be able to share it to other with other people. You got that from somewhere. And
Well,
that's
I honestly have to say that my mother's responsible for a lot of my being, my sisters. And I think when you put out love, it's going to be reciprocated. It's going to be reciprocal. I think
yes,
when you care about people, it's going to be reciprocal. And
yes.
if it's not reciprocal, it doesn't really matter. You should do it just because that's who you are.
Hmm.
And on that note, I have been, and I'm just going to change the focus of our conversation.
That's okay.
I have been involved in Dionne Warwick's life for 37 years, now going into 38 years. And what I love about Miss Warwick more than what I love about myself is that she's romantically in love with Dionne Marie Warwick. She has love for so many people.
Yes,
I'm putting the music aside. That's really not important. People need to understand
yes.
that there's a heart there that's big as this world. If she could give whatever she has to the whole world, she would. We have gone on train rides together. We have gone through the trials and the tribulations. We have fought the fight and we keep fighting the fight. And she has shown me what it takes to be strong,
Yes.
what it takes to go on. We would go through whatever we're going through, and she would say, and I would say, Miss Word, she would say, babe, we got to do this. We got to keep it moving. I never once seen this lady stop in the matter of whatever was going on. She has a strength. I don't know if it comes from her mother. I don't know if it comes from her grandfather. I don't know where it comes from.
Yes.
But I saw her cure up one time in 37 years. And in 37 years, I've seen so many things that's transpired through her life. She is a shining example for so many people. If you get to detach the singing part and put that all the way over there and just understand the humanitarian, understand the heart, the mind, and the soul, the energy, and the positive energy that she provides.
It's
It is beyond me.
it is beyond.
It's
So
beyond me.
this is where I have to say, and this is how we know each other, because now it's going on over 20 years since I contacted and looked at her as my mentor, over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that she did, some of the story where I met her and I talked to her about a song that I had, and I'm not going to make this about too much about me, but I want to make this about, love and kindness and where we're going here. Dionne Warwick has been such an incredible mentor. I did not know that she was this person 25 years ago. I'm like, she's a star. She gave me the best, genuine, loving, kind advice and direction. And it was never, I'm saying the same thing. I interviewed her the other day. I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm not making this about her music. And I never have made it about her music when I'm doing conversations. I don't even call them interviews, because she's so much more than that to me in my heart. kind, warm, giving, loving, genuine. From the first time I talked to her, she said to me, just be your authentic self and you got nothing to worry about. You know, and I'm gonna put you into my schools in East Orange, and I'm going to introduce you to this person and introduce you to this person. I'm like, who is this person? Who is this angel of a person who can just give of herself kindly without doing it for any reason that she needs?
But it all begins with, you know, her parents. I
always want to know where it begins.
Oh,
I
let me tell
always
you
want to
something.
know where it begins, Angela.
Let me tell you, Mrs. Warwick, Lee Warwick, was my buddy.
Uh-huh.
She was my friend. Before they start talking about things virtual, me and Mrs. Warwick and I would have coffee every morning on the phone. On the phone. I would get to my desk.
Oh,
Before I called Dionne Warwick, I called Mrs. Lee Warwick.
oh my gosh.
I love this lady. She was no nonsense.
Well,
And when she spoke, you listened. You listened. Oh, you did listen. I learned so much from her, just about life in the music industry. Just to talk to her was like, I was like this every day. Really, Mrs. Warwick? Really, Mrs. Warwick? The whole family has always been contributors. Teach one to reach one. I
yeah.
think that's that family model. Um, Wonderful people, lovely energy.
Yes.
And it was a collective. It wasn't just individual.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I fell in love with Dee Dee Warwick. Let me try to tell you, when Dee Dee was living, you was talking about the sweetest. That lady used to make me crack up. She was just the sweetest, loving, giving. You know that they were sisters, and you know where it came from. I didn't have the pleasures of meeting Mr. Warwick, but I had the pleasure of meeting the mother and the aunts and
What a
cousins.
blessing.
Phenomenal energy, phenomenal love, and I understand why God has blessed her with such a career, such a blessing. She's in love with her children and grandchildren. She loves them. She's involved. I mean, when I tell you she's involved in those grandkids.
Yes.
Sometimes I watch her and I'm like, Miss Wortham. She said, no, I'm having a little problem. We got to straighten some things. She is involved. She ain't just no princess grandmother that, you know, my grandmother is this. She lays it to them just like she would lay it to me, just like she would lay it to you and say, this is the way this has got to go.
Yes.
She
Yes.
said, if you think it, she would always say, if you think it, you can do it. And so I see her think it, and I also see her do it. So yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be a part of her life.
Years ago, the 20, 25 years ago, I said something to her, and believe me, I have great mentors. My grandmother, my mother, my sister. I have a great family.
Right.
When Dionne Warwick came into my life, and it's crazy how she did. But anyway, I think I said something, and I'm a pretty positive person. I said something like, I just don't understand why this isn't jump starting the way I want it to, whatever it was. And she said, well, listen, if you want this to happen, you better put it out there. You better pray about it. And you better know it can happen for you. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what your anything is. If you want it, you pray about it and you're going to have it. You believe you can have it. You'll have it. And I was like, wait, who is this woman? Because only my family has ever been that.
You? Yeah. Yeah.
She's an angel. She's an angel. I mean, everybody's special. Not saying that everybody's not special. She's an angel, as are you. There's a certain mold, I believe, that is built to do and say the things that you say and are created to have this wonderful voice to spread amongst others. And I think God, and I'm just making this up, I said, God must have said, let me just make you a singer so everybody knows who you are. So you have this voice beyond the singing voice, beyond the vocals, so that you can penetrate.
Yeah.
You can penetrate these people because you need to bring them in droves and let them hear you for more than just your voice.
Yeah, I think she's just a brave, brave woman.
Yes.
When she does, I mean, her slogan is, if you think it, you can do it. And I think when she thought back in the 80s about AIDS and HIV and how they wanted to give all the grandeur to Liz Taylor, Dionne cared about people who looked like her. And so she wanted to go about and find out about why was this disease killing people who looked like her. And
Yes.
she would go into cities and states and she would kiss AIDS babies and people was like, have you lost your mind? You know, when you're blessed by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and you know what you're doing, she started to make President Reagan comfortable with saying the word AIDS.
Yes.
Then when you take one of the most biggest records of all times, That's What Friends Are For, and you take the dollars and cents from that record and you donate it to AmFarm. That's a lot. People who are going through what they're going through and have gone through it, they've gone through it on the heels of her contribution to make them better, to find cures. And it's continuous. It's not, it wasn't just like she did this for some notoriety. She wasn't being paid by the government to say A, B, C, and D. She did this. She just said, okay, she'll tell you, I'm nosy and I want to find out. And she would go into every particular situation where she did not know, and she found out knowing. She began to know what she needed to know. And so the reality is what the reality is. I will always, always, always love her for not being afraid, being brave, and standing on what she believed in and made other people believe and know the importance of what she was believing and what she was fighting for.
That's right.
So it goes on and on back to the school where they named the school after her, where the kids are where the kids is. It's you know, it's just an incredible, incredible thing that she cares from the heart.
Yes, she
And
does.
it's really, really important that people start to see that side of her and not see just the musical side of her.
Yes.
There's so many, many, many dimensions to her personality
Yes.
and to her person, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. There are. There's so many layers to Dionne. I can't. I still can't believe that I can call her or text her and she will respond. And this is years. And I still can't believe that a person of her stature and the legacy and legend that she is still texts me back like a normal. I can't even say because well, I guess normal, right? But I don't see her as the norm.
No, she's not the norm.
She's
not the
not
norm.
the norm.
The thing is that when you start to appreciate someone beyond the blessings from God, and that's why I say she's of the norm. She has some notoriety.
She's not the average.
There you go. That's
she's not the average.
That's the word.
She's the norm. She's not average. And you even know for yourself, even people, well, you have friends and you have friends. We talked about that.
Yes.
There's certain people who are your friends, you know, the people who get back to you and who truly love you.
Yeah.
Who
Exactly.
you and for your heart.
Exactly.
Those are the people who get back with you are the extraordinary people, because people these days don't even get back with you.
That's very true.
And those are the people that you really don't need in your life, right?
That's very true. Very, very true. Very, very true.
You love them, but you love them up there. And
I love you from afar.
exactly in these different segments.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, you are that too, though. You are that person.
Thank you.
You are the
But
extra.
do you understand it's when you're around good energy?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm only
Exactly what I
around
was
good energy.
saying.
I'm only around good energy. I believe you know that
Yeah,
about me
yes,
already.
I do. I do. I
I'm
do.
only about it. Would
Uh,
never even have a podcast
No, I
with
understand.
anybody who is not of good energy, because it's not good for my soul. Even the things I listen to,
Right,
television, etc.
right.
We don't do that, right?
No, I
I know
can't.
you don't.
I can't. I choose to again choose what. Let's put it this way. I like what likes me. If you
Yes.
don't like me, I don't necessarily like you. I will learn to understand why you don't like me, but I'm fine with your decision.
That's the best.
I
That's
like what likes me. You don't like me, I'm just gonna pray for you. And I'm
and
gonna
it's
learn how to
okay.
like you.
And it's okay.
Yes, it's quite all right. It's
Because
quite
you're
all right
still
with
gonna
me.
love you. You're
I
still
love me
married
some
to you.
Angelo, and that's all that matters in my life, in my world. And so I try to give that kind of energy back out. Important to love you.
And I feel you so much. And I,
Thank
I
you.
I can't even, I'm so excited about this continued conversation. But before we even wrap this up,
Mhm.
are you tell me, are you selling your candle? What can we
Yeah,
promote?
well, I have two books. One being
Yes.
Ask Angelo, and then says Dionne Warwick, Ask Angelo, Alicia Keys, and so on and so on.
Mhm.
So that book became bestseller on the Amazon, and it's still for sale. You can go to Amazon, and the name of the book is Ask Angelo.
Okay.
And then I have a second book that I created, which was called The Sense of Success.
Okay.
And I named a candle The Scent of Success. And what I do is I exercise in this book the will of loving who you are. I spoke to that recording artist who left the scene because he or she was very discouraged. I talked to the single parent who believes that they cannot go out and get a degree and become successful. I
Mhm.
spoke to the recovering drug addict and the recovering alcoholic that they still can endure. The books mean the reason that I wrote this last book, The Sense of Success, because I was seeing so many people just disappointed with life. And
Yes.
I'm like, why are you disappointed? If you can't be disappointed, have you had a conversation with God? Do you understand the importance of loving you and the challenges that life will present to you and how you must deal with those challenges? This is your life. It's a gift. So
Yeah.
you must do what you need to do in order for your gift to be rewarding to you. And so the books, both books are on Amazon. My candle line. Now, I was a bit more interested in doing a candle line than the man in the moon. One of my friends, Jesus, came to my apartment. My apartment is completely white. Everything in my house is white. And I would go out and I would buy these candles. And he would always say, "Wow, it always smells so good in here." Da, 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 da. He was like, "Why won't you do a candle line?" I was like, "Do you think I got time to sit up here?" He said, "But you don't really have to do it. I got a guy that can come up with the scents for you. All you have to do is tell me which ones you like." And then he sent me to, we went to the lab. I introduced the guy who created the scent. Uh, and so what I do, I sell the candles with percentages going back to the Peter Holt Foundation.
And
What
what's the
is it?
foundation?
It's called the Peter Holt Foundation, and
Okay.
it's located in Newark at the St. Michael's Hospital. So
Spell that. Peter Home, Home.
H-O,
Okay.
Peter Holt Foundation.
Okay.
And it's housed at the St. Michael's Hospital in Newark, New Jersey.
Mm,
It's a division that provides and takes care of HIV and AIDS victims.
that's fantastic.
And I mean, the support that I can get on those candles, because it would only support the lives of those people
Mm,
in the city that I grew up with, because I think it's still a very deprived city.
mhm.
I think that people in the community, in the gay community, is still very much overlooked.
Yes.
not cared for, not provided for, not giving the kind of opportunities that they should have. And I'm just very supportive. I'm just very supportive, and I want to see people make change and make difference in life. And if my donations and my time and my energies can help someone, then let me help them.
You know, we need to talk offline about this too, because I want to help you to sell these. And you
Wonderful.
also need to connect with my son. He's one of the board of directors for AIDS Healthcare Foundation. I don't know if
Really?
you know AIDS Healthcare Foundation in the city. Well,
Yes.
they're all over. Well, you have to connect with Eddie.
Wonderful. Yes, that's wonderful. I would love to.
Yeah, definitely
Wonderful.
connect with him. But certainly, let's talk about getting the candles on QVC if you're interested in doing that.
I am most interested anywhere
So let's
that
do this.
somebody would be interested in taking the line and helping me to push the importance of HIV and AIDS.
Yes.
I'm there.
Well,
I'm
we're
totally
going
there.
to do this. We're going to do this. I mean,
Okay.
there's so much more. I mean, I know that you're doing so much more. You're working with the OJs. You had the son, or he's got a champagne line, and you have.
Yeah, it's cool. Robert Cool Bell is a co-founder of the group, the legendary group Cool in the Gang. Unfortunately, his brother Ronald passed last year, and
So
so now Cool is the founding member that has to oversee, supervise, and or manage, which gives me some more responsibilities away from doing what would be publicity. But
mhm.
I marvel over his energy. I marvel over his ability to see his visions and make his visions a reality. And he has incredible two children that give so much to their father, and they see what their father is made out of, and a lot of them, both of them, are almost following in the shadows of his footsteps. So
Really,
yeah, man, it's so when you get involved in these projects and you say you're just a publicist, you have to really incorporate their whole family and get to
you're
know their
not.
whole family, because it is a trust system. It's a whole lot. If you're going to be a publicist. Don't try to take somebody to 9,000 parties. You have to develop the relationship
Amen.
so that you know who you are promoting, you know
Yes.
about your person, what they will and will not. You gotta, it's a study before you go to do what you have to do. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're saying this out loud,
Yeah.
because it's really important to know. It's not
Thank
just
you.
taking about taking the bucks and saying, all right, we'll take you here and take you. We have to know the person. Got to know the person you're working with you need to know the background.
No, that's very true.
You need to know the background. But certainly for you, I could keep you on for hours. Let's have a sleepover. Come on, let's put our jammies on now.
You're so wonderful.
Let's make
You're
some dinner.
wonderful.
You're not far away from me, so we need to
I'm telling you, after everything is over with this, let's get on the phone and just come together.
let's make some dates and get together. But we're going to talk about the candles and how we can help AIDS. And are you still doing that motivational book that goes along with the candles? Because
Oh yeah, yeah.
okay,
Ah,
please show me. Yes, show everyone.
this is the book,
Love that book, by the way.
and it's called Your New Life is Coming.
Mhm.
The Sense of Success by me.
And the candle is with it.
The candle comes along with this. Yeah.
Candle comes along with it. And
Yeah.
where can we buy that? Right.
You can go to my website, which is www.dxxnyc.com, or you can go through Amazon. So it's the sense of success. And then the other book is
That's a mouthful, Angelo. You made that such a mouthful. But worth every word and every cent.
Thank you. And every cent. Yes, thank you. And so yeah, it's this book and this other book and it's the candles. And I'm working on something now.
I know you are, but we're definitely going to talk about that.
I appreciate
This
you.
has been amazing. So wait, before we wrap, I have to ask you, what is the song that every single day inspires you. I'm all about music. I'm all about music and love and all that. And I get excited in the morning after doing my prayer and meditation.
So
But
I listen and I pray gospel music. And it's not one particular song because I listen to Pandora. And
okay.
so the songs are just constantly repeated.
Oh, yes.
And so I listen to that. And it's not a particular song, but I'm able to write from the song and talk on the phone and do all of what I do because that inspiration inspires me.
Yes.
So it's not a particular song that I listen to, but I listen to Pandora's gospel stuff all day long.
And what is your, I want to show, can you please show me your happy dance? When you, at the end of the day, well,
those dances are no longer.
Oh, come on, let's do this again.
Hey, there you go. You're fabulous.
You are beautiful.
Thank you so
inside
much.
and out. So love having
I
you.
appreciate you. I really do.
Love
and I
our
thank
conversation.
you. And thank you for loving Miss Warwick. Thank you for loving yourself. Thank your team of professionals for taking their time out to orchestrate this interview. And blessings to you, to your family, and may God always watch over you and keep you. Until the next time, my love.
And right back at you. God bless you and keep you safe always. And thank you. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank
God
you so
bless
very much.
Mwah.
God love you. Bye-bye.
That was phenomenal. What a fantastic conversation with Angelo Ellerbee. Holy cow. You talk about being inspired and motivated. He's motivated me to love and be kind to the highest level. You guys know who you know me. I'm all about the love and the kindness. He brought me to a whole nother level. We talked about Dionne Warwick, and that's what we have in common. And just her kindness and all of those things. Just amazed by the people I have on this podcast. It's wild. So just loved our conversation. And I can't wait to have him back on again. He was absolutely spectacular. If you want to know how to get on my show, please feel free to email me. Go to info@inventingatoz.com. My website, inventingatoz.com. If you have products, ideas, inventions, definitely reach out to me. Watch our podcast. You can watch it on YouTube. You can listen on all of the major podcast platforms, every single one, and there's a lot. And follow me on all social media platforms. Remember to keep on lifting each other up, 2 hands at a time, and sometimes you definitely got to use that foot. Until next time.